everybody. Welcome again to No way. Tell me you got it.
It's going.
Okay.
I'm laughing. Hello, everybody.
Oh, okay. That's fine. So you can laugh at me all you want. I just was like, no, I'm not restarting it again. We've been having some technical issues. Welcome to MADcast, everyone. I'm one of your hosts, Matt. Here with me again, everyone, is my co-host, Dave, of course.
How's it going?
Always bringing the action.
Yeah, that's what they call me. Action bringer.
Action bringer.
Action bringer.
It's a great nickname.
That is so lame.
It's not the most creative.
That sounds like a rejected nickname from like one of the lore stories of Game of Thrones, like Extra Tail.
Yes, you would know.
The Action Bringer.
Oh man.
And I am Nikolai of the RLF and the Kings of Talk Style podcasts.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
It's plural now.
Released a new podcast.
What's that one?
Oh, that's it's a well, you know how we all love pro wrestling.
Oh, sure, all of us. every single one of us loves it. Yes.
All three
All three
of us.
You know, the pageantry and the spectacle
Exactly.
and everything and the athleticism. Well, we've decided to do a podcast about that.
Smart.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, very niche audience.
Mm-hmm.
You think it's not smart? 200 views in first hour. All right?
Wow.
These nuts are dry for some reason.
Because he's not sucking them.
Who's on it?
It is myself, Nikolai,
That's Sage.
Seich, and another co-host of ours, one Dirty Jack Vallon, a former professional wrestler.
Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. We've had a little bit of a recess.
Mm-hmm.
It's been we missed last month
Right.
due to our extremely busy schedules. We've been touring.
Mm-hmm.
You guys went on tour?
I went on a tour.
Where? Of? Did you go on the Sex and the City tour again?
I did.
You really love that thing.
It's magical.
Why February?
Because nobody's there and you get to see everything. Oh, man. No, I was busy doing other shit, as was Dave and Nikolai, so it didn't get out. But hey, we want to, it's number 3. We're saving it for the 3rd month of the year.
There you go.
Yeah. So this is MADcast, and if you've never listened before for some reason, it's 3 friends talking about a specific topic, an individual topic, which one of us always brings to the table. And as is tradition, Nikolai.
What? I was writing something down. What?
It's your week
4?
to bring the topic.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, I have done the first 2 episodes, and it's
You're not
your
getting this.
turn.
It's a calendar-based system.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And the calendar has fallen on
Week to week
not
to week.
Nikolai's turn.
This just happens to be.
I
the
haven't
week.
even thought of anything. You just said it.
Oh my god! You haven't thought of anything?
No, I'm not the host. This is not my show. I'm not even in the title. It's the Matt and Dave podcast.
I am so embarrassed for you. Wait. Embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
See how easy that was?
For you to do your job? Yeah, that was pretty easy. It was pretty easy for you to pull off thinking of one word.
Yeah, that's true. But, that's why they pay us the big bucks.
They don't pay us anything.
They don't pay you anything.
Yeah.
How much?
You're not a
you
pro.
guys getting
We're the
paid?
hosts.
Yeah.
We're hosts, Nikolai.
Oh,
You guys are in the title of the show.
Yeah,
I should
right.
make half of what you're making, though, right?
That's true.
One
So,
a 10th, maybe.
nothing.
So nothing then.
So
you want to talk about embarrassing stories?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, everybody has experienced some level of deep, horrendous embarrassment at some point in their life.
And we're all eager to share.
Yeah. And it is something that I, if I'm watching a movie and something terribly embarrassing or cringeworthy happens to a character, I tense up. That's how well I don't deal with embarrassment.
Me too. I'll turn off, like, if it's an interview, like on like a, an interview show.
When the interview isn't going well?
Yeah, I'll turn it off.
I love those moments.
Oh,
love
see,
them.
I can't handle it. I turn it off.
I've had girlfriends in the past who could not watch things that were embarrassing for other people. Like, it was such a deep rooted fear that it would knots in the stomach.
No.
So I hope that we can accomplish. If anybody feels that way, let's hope these stories are good enough that you'll feel that way.
Yeah, we could allow you to stop listening. That's our goal.
And I guess I've all right. I think I can just nail my embarrassing story very quickly.
Would you say this is one of your most embarrassing moments?
I can pinpoint it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can pinpoint it.
Most embarrassing in your life?
The single most embarrassing thing that has ever happened to me.
Okay. Wow.
And it occurred at a wedding in Florida. I don't know if I've ever told anybody this story.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if you know this story either. Just because telling it is actually like I'm getting flustered.
Oh my god! I mean, you told us about that time you undressed your mother.
What?
What?
No. No, I am not one of the incestors. Okay, I don't do any of that stuff.
Incestors. Wow. Okay, so I am genuinely eager to hear this story.
Okay. It was at a wedding for a older cousin.
What year are we at? How old is little Matt in this story?
Oh God, I'm 10, 11, maybe 12.
Okay.
It's pre-high school. And I know that because I didn't have any friends, so I never had to tell the story to anybody.
Got it.
So we went down for this wedding, and it's all a great time. It's beautiful weather. Everybody's having fun. My dad shoots me like a flute of wine or something like that.
A flute of wine?
Yeah, like a little
a nimble
flute. Or whatever they call
a
those
small
things.
amount of wine in a glass.
Yes.
Okay. Not a flute though, right?
I think they call
it
it
an expression.
I think they call it a flute.
Isn't it like a
wine or a champagne flute? Like it's a. I'm pretty sure.
I'm not very
I've never heard
cultured.
that. Yeah.
They didn't say it in Titanic, and that's about as cultured as I get. All right.
Champagne flutes. Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah, one of those little things.
Oh, that's a type of glass, I guess.
Yeah, it's a type of glass.
Gotcha.
A champagne flute.
All the food
I
network I
learned
watch.
something. I just learned something new.
I just so I gulped that down, and everybody's having a blast at this wedding, and it's gorgeous, and the bride's beautiful, and everyone's happy, and nobody's fighting, and it's fun. So
Like that needed to be said.
Young Matt was a dancer, and I was.
Was he now?
Oh, I was lighting up the dance floor.
What was like one of your go-to moves?
Oh man, I couldn't even. Okay, well, funny you should mention it.
Okay.
Nikolai, it was the running slide across the floor while playing air guitar. And that got people every time. They loved it. Cute little chubby kid, ruining his panties, running across the floor. A hoot.
Awesome.
It was great. So, the wedding or the reception rather, is in this very odd hall. It is in a hall that is supposed to be used for a much bigger purpose than just this wedding. So, to keep everybody cordoned off, they have the entire thing covered in like a backdrop of high wire or high poles with black curtain backdrops. And the bathrooms are through the backdrops and like all the way across the other side of this place. It was like as big as it was almost like a half football field big place. Okay. And we were using maybe a quarter of it.
All right.
I already know where this is going.
Hall.
Right. Big dance hall. So I go to the bathroom.
Not a lot of people. Okay.
I go to the bathroom. It's a walk. After I come out of the bathroom, my Aunt Mickey is coming out of the bathroom as well with my smaller cousin Morgan.
I too have an Aunt Mickey.
And there's always an Aunt Mickey, and my Aunt Mickey was cool as fuck. My Aunt Mickey was fun. She's, lovable. She's great. So we're walking back to the wedding. And, oh God, what is the name of the song? Still, when I hear it today, it gives me chills. I swear. Just take those old records off the shelf.
Oh, man.
What is that called?
Old time of rock and roll.
Old time
From,
rock and roll.
what's that movie with Tom Cruise?
Risky
Risky
Business?
Business.
Risky Business,
It's
yeah.
a Risky Business. Where, if you know, Tom Cruise, while playing that song, slides across into view of people.
Mm-hmm.
In his skivvies, which I had no plan of doing.
Thank God.
I'm so glad you said this because that was the next question.
No, I was in no way taking off my pants.
Okay.
However, I did think it would be a good idea if I managed, because there's 2 strums at the beginning of that song, and I'm almost back there. So I have to make this split-second decision. I hear the first riff.
Oh my God.
And then there's a pause.
It is literally your moment, man.
This is destiny.
Okay, we need to... I'm so sorry. We need to... We're almost about to come. So let's pump the brakes for a second. How many times have you slid across the floor this night?
Oh, several.
Are we over 5?
Over 5.
And is it one every time?
It is... What do you mean?
Is it a layup? Like everybody loves it?
Everybody loves it. It's a fucking
It's a
fantastic
guaranteed
move.
layup. So this is your moment.
Yeah.
You've been building towards the best slide of the night.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. I've been setting the stage. Chekhov's gun has been prepped. I think that's what it's called. Never mind. And I make the split-second decision. I'm like, I gotta get in there and slide before the second strum. So I book it. I start booking it. And then I remember in my head, I'm like, on the other side of this curtain, I don't know if there are people. So, in order to avoid and make sure that there would be no damage, a young boy yells out, "Watch out!"
Oh no.
Before proceeding to slide face first into a standing metal pole, which then proceeded to collapse the entire pole structure on top of the dance floor.
No. Are you fucking kidding me?
And there are people screaming. My Uncle Walter has gotten hit in the head and has a cut.
Oh,
And I am laying strewn atop a fallen pile of pipes and cloth, and I am perfectly fine. However, I can't move. I am so stricken in fear that I pretend that I have hurt myself dramatically and proceed to have the event staff call an ambulance.
Oh,
no way.
Yes.
What was your thinking? Like that they would know that you did it, or you could play it off like it was an accident?
No, they knew I did it.
Okay.
They knew I did it.
That wasn't an option.
If I was hurt, nobody could get mad at me. I was a fool for making the assumption that this would never, if I just pretend to be hurt, I'll be fine.
Right.
I'll be totally good. I was not good.
I can picture it like, in those war movies when like the soldier like falls down and then he looks up and it's like chaos around him, but he can't like hear anything. And
I just hear the muffled.
Yeah, and he's looking around and saw people dying and blowing up. And I can picture that as your moment as you saw what was happening after.
Just looking out and just, oh. And I remember locking eyes with my mom before going, okay. And then just pretending to like fall back and pretend to like fall unconscious.
Is that's the illness you went with? It wasn't like I hurt my leg.
You pretended you were unconscious.
You pretended that I've knocked myself unconscious on this metal pole.
Did they?
Now, did you give yourself a good rattling? Like, did you?
What do you mean?
Did you knock your head on the pole?
Oh no, I was perfectly fine. My body took the brunt of the impact. I laid down on top of the pole as it crushed people.
This.
Was anyone else hurt?
Yeah, my Uncle Walter had a sizable gash on his forehead.
What a flimsy setup.
It was well, I mean, to be fair, I was a big kid, and I hit it going pretty fast.
Huh.
And I guess they weren't planning for some great sliding move.
It was like a...
How good was the slide?
I mean, it would have been a 10 out of 10.
It's a real shame.
Are you kidding me?
It's a real shame here.
Yeah.
Oh my god. All right. So, how long into you hitting the pole? Like, did you draw eyes when you screamed "Watch out"?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Did everyone hear the "Watch out"?
Curtain.
Okay. So, at what point did somebody notice you? Was your mom the first one to notice you?
I don't know if it was my mom, but like I looked up and people were looking at the dance floor, obviously aghast.
Uh-huh.
And it was obvious that you would hit it?
The bride screamed. My cousin just looked out like what the fuck is going on? And I was just atop a pile of yelling, confused bodies that were trying to flee this black cloth graveyard.
Oh my god.
And so you pretend to be unconscious, and so they come over and start talking to you, and you just don't respond?
They come over, and my dad's like, Matt, what the hell happened? As if he couldn't have put two and two together. I was sliding all day, man. It was my fucking game.
You were slipping and sliding.
Yeah.
You were killing it.
So there's no way you could have been like, yeah, I just like hit into it and it fell. It was
no,
like not that you were doing some.
No.
Okay.
All right.
Like a sandbag that was holding down this thing went up into the air and like off to the side when I hit it. Like it didn't throw on anybody, but it just went comically went and just like popped open like a couple yards away.
Sandbags are flying. This slide was incredible.
It was a living nightmare.
I'm more curious about this pretending to be unconscious. So
yeah,
so like
more.
they're saying Matt, and you're just like sitting there.
I'm just out, and then like someone reaches down and grabs like my arm and shakes me, and I'm just like, huh? What happened?
No.
Yeah.
You go straight up. What happened?
But your mom had already seen you. Look at her.
Yeah, my mom goes, you tell us what happened. I was like, I was coming through the curtain. I was trying to slide and I slammed my head. Oh, my head really hurts.
And you have no knot on your head.
I have nothing. No bruise, no scrape, no anything. But like the event staff is already on the phone.
Yeah.
Like my Uncle Walter's bleeding like a sieve.
Head blood comes out fast, too.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It really does. And Walter,
head blood doesn't fuck around.
To his credit, took it like a champ. While waiting for the ambulance, he was just sitting back. He found 2 Bud Lights.
How old is Uncle Walter?
Walter is now a 60-year-old.
So he must have been...
Yeah.
Oh, man. He must have been like, 22 years old back then. Right? A 22-year-old drug addict.
No, he just loved his booze.
Yeah.
So how did the whole thing end? So you left in an ambulance?
No, didn't leave.
They wouldn't take you.
They didn't think I required any medical attention.
Oh, they've got eyes in medical training?
Uh-huh.
It turns out?
Yeah, they shined a light in my eyes for all of 2 seconds, and when it followed, they were like, yeah, he's fine.
Yeah.
If he has a headache, just like give him like Tylenol or something, and then they left.
How pissed was everyone at you?
Pretty fucking. To these.
How long did you have to stay at the wedding for?
Yeah, that's the other question. Did it keep going?
Oh, it kept going.
Of course.
By the time the
think
ambulance had like arrived, the setup was already back up.
Oh,
Like their event staff was on it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
That's so bad.
It's like the Naginski wedding again. This has happened before. It's a terrible joke.
Yes, every time. The kid tried to slide again.
How can this happen?
Stop playing old time rock and roll.
It's third time this month.
We're asking for trouble.
Next is gonna be Welcome to the Jungle. You're crazy.
But yeah.
So everyone was pissed at you.
Everyone, so pissed at me.
So what'd you do? You go hang out outside till it was over or something?
I went.
Bathroom maybe.
No, I stayed for a little bit, and then I just.
No, I was just saying he jerked off.
Oh, okay.
I didn't jerk off.
Shame wank.
That's the sign for bring the mic closer. Wank, 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 wank.
That's my most embarrassing.
Wait, so you didn't say that? Where'd you go? Like sit like?
Oh, I went outside for a little bit, and then I went back in, tried to stay. I couldn't.
Did you approach the dance
You
floor?
didn't do another slide, did you?
Then I asked someone to just take me back to the hotel, and they had like trans or whatever they were running.
Trams.
Trams running.
A bunch of trans running them back.
Yeah, just transsexuals.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hop on my back.
They had a bunch of trams running back and forth, so someone just took me back to the room, and I stayed there alone.
Yeah.
To my family's credit, no one has ever brought it up.
Really?
What?
No one has ever brought it up.
How is that even possible?
Because I think they said, all right, if we joke about it, we're gonna have to kill him because we have to acknowledge that it happened. And that fat little fucker with his gay slide ruined everybody's good time.
How, like, I would be so curious to bring that up at this point. Because now it's fine. Like, is that marriage even still a thing?
What?
Are they still married?
That wedding.
Yeah.
They're still married?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All right. So, it's pretty cynical of me. So, like, they're fine. It didn't ruin it didn't ruin their marriage.
It kept going.
Yeah.
It was no big deal, really. I mean, yeah, someone got caught, so that sucks. But you know,
It was pretty.
No, but my point
No,
is
it's
that,
not.
like, aren't you...
It's funny now.
Aren't you now curious to get, like, your family's...
Yeah, when I would be.
No?
God, no. Because in my instant, how can you have anything but hatred for that fat little faggot?
I mean...
Yeah.
Just you little... Like, I would be... if that happened to me,
Yeah.
I would hit that little kid so hard.
Did you have that...
But he was me.
Did you have that feeling of just, like, your face was hot? You were so embarrassed?
No, and it's funny you actually bring that up. I didn't really get that hot, embarrassed, and blush feeling. But that is, like, I was reading, because I was reading up on some stuff about embarrassment.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason that happens is embarrassment is actually a fight or flight response where the actual... You are not going to... You are going to do neither. So it kicks in, you're not fighting, you're not fleeing, you're just standing and absorbing whatever is happening. But you still get the anxiety, the adrenaline rush of a fight or flight response. And that's why people get blushed or so uptight and nervous when they feel that way, is because they're having that reaction and not instinctually doing anything about it.
That's pretty fascinating.
Yeah.
Huh.
Was there any...
Why did I get some reports from your sister that you were crying in the bathroom all night?
I cry all the time about a lot of things.
No, I meant that night specifically.
That night
Did you
or
cry?
something else.
Did you cry?
Oh, fucking... Are you kidding?
It's like the fact that you didn't cry in front of the crowd.
You didn't cry in front of people. Wait, like you cried later.
I cried I cried there, apologizing to them.
Okay. I was
cried
like,
there, apologizing
when that
to them.
story didn't include you crying, I didn't believe it fully.
No. Of course.
Because I know that 12-year-old me, I know that 27-year-old me would have cried if I ruined the wedding to that level.
Dude, it just crying throughout. Just imagine.
Yeah.
Basically tears throughout.
Okay.
Crying when I got back to the hotel. Crying.
Like just the...
Crying.
I ruined the wedding.
Well, you certainly made it all about you. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. Oh man, I was.
So did you
bawling like a baby?
Do you remember falling asleep that night?
That's a good question. No. Yeah. It's worse after. Like, then you just keep thinking about it.
Exactly. Because then you're like, oh man, if this would have happened. Like, if only I would have tripped and then broken my face on the bottom of the pole, and then no one would have known.
Yeah.
Only if my Aunt Mickey, an adult, would have just grabbed me by my collar and been like, hey, you don't know what's on the other side of that metal black sheet.
That's the other thing. Like, you could easily, like, if you had worked, you could have, like, hit people and, like...
See... Excuse me.
It's a bad plan.
I genuinely thought that was going to end with you taking the bride out. Sliding on through and just whop, no more legs for the bride.
Worse than that, actually.
Whole dance floor.
Yeah. Significantly worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if I've ever actually told you that story.
No, I have never heard that story before.
That was my most embarrassing.
I don't know. Mine certainly pales in comparison. But it is a pretty embarrassing story that if I have told you before, it was a very long time ago, and I imagine you have forgotten at this point.
Okay.
And it took place at work, and this is when I was working for at the furniture warehouse. So this is when we were in college. And I had been working there for a little while. At this point, I'd probably been there for about 2.5 years. And there's so much turnover at this place that I was actually like one of the senior members of the staff, basically. So I was like I know what's going on. Yeah. I'm the man to see. You got a question? You need to know how to do something? I can help you out. I was that guy, And on top of that, I was also like the guy who would fuck around and have fun at work.
Sure.
And I really liked it. Like,
of course.
I really liked being the cool guy at work because I was so not the cool guy in any other aspect of my upbringing or life.
Mm-hmm.
So we would do like normal work shit. We would prank each other with I don't know how to just we worked in a warehouse, normal warehouse shit. We'd race like the forklifts and stuff like that, or you make a paper ball and you fucking try and throw it in the basket. But we would also do a little bit more destructive stuff. I was a real big fan of doing the Superman punch to the wall, which by that I mean I would literally punch a hole in the wall and then put a label over it because you don't know what's behind the label. And that's what I would tell anybody who would question, why is there a label on the wall?
What is this, like thin sheetrock or?
It was just regular sheetrock. I just knew where the studs were and were not. And then, I don't know, man.
Hey, we're just having fun. I'm gonna just punch a hole in the wall.
Well, somebody kicked a hole in the wall once. That was pretty crazy.
It's good times.
I don't know. We were destructive.
Strange.
Yeah, it was aggressive.
I brought the sledgehammer today. We're gonna have some real fun.
Wait, we've got to put all these order together first and label them properly. Make sure nothing is missing. Then let's punch some holes in walls. All right. So, but believe it or not, the hole punching thing, like people really kind of enjoyed it, and we would also play this. We would play a game. We would try to make each other laugh. While the other person would be helping a customer.
Mm-hmm.
We would do stuff like that. And I thought it was hot shit. And I was like, you know what I'm going to do? I just saw the Employee of the Month movie with Dane Cook.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a hideout. It's a fantastic piece of cinema.
Yeah.
So don't. I know you, Dave.
What?
Don't say anything about that film.
It's great. Okay. Is there anything Dan Cook has done that's not great, though, is my question.
That's a great question. I'm really glad you said it like that because it's completely and utterly true. Let's move on. So I was like, let's build a clubhouse. I'm saying this to myself, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, yeah, all right, I'm going to do it. And what started as a clubhouse immediately became, how about just a comfortable bench behind a stack of pallets?
Mm-hmm.
Because I don't have any of the resources to build a clubhouse.
Right.
For
You immediately find that a clubhouse is harder to build than just willpower.
Really impractical.
And what? You're just gonna go hang out there, like when you're supposed to be working, or?
I at this point in my career there, I was working a lot of morning shifts, and I was actually pretty good. And I had gotten my routine down to a science that there was like a 40-minute gap every morning where I could just really let it ride on cruise control, and I would go usually to the bathroom and just take a quick little nap.
Mm-hmm.
My move would be to I'd sit on the bowl, but I'd turn to the side so I could pop my elbow on the tank, and then I'd rest my head on my elbow and just throw my hat down out like a light.
Smart.
Yeah, so that'd be like 20-30 minutes every day. So I was just like, why don't I just build somewhere it'd be comfortable to hang out, taking a little nap. So I got a pallet, a whole bunch of paper, because it was a furniture warehouse, so we have that paper that you use to wrap around glass and stuff like that. So laid a whole bunch of that stuff out. Then I got a bunch of moving blankets, put that on top of it, and I showed it to a couple of the guys, and I knew it wasn't cool because it was just me and one of our he's not a former friend, it's just somebody we don't hang out with anymore, Ryan.
Mm-hmm. Oh
yeah. He worked there at the time, and he and I are just sitting there, and I'm like, yeah, so this is pretty cool, right? And he's like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just two dudes sitting on a pile of papers behind dusty pallets.
Was it well
next
hidden?
To it. No. You know how I know it wasn't well hidden? 2 weeks later, I come into work,
mm-hmm.
and the store manager's down there with the store's number 2, the loss prevention manager, and my manager, and they've all want to know if I'm aware of the delivery driver who has been living in the warehouse.
What?
Because they have located his bed.
Oh.
They have located his living quarters.
There's no one really living there, right?
And then, of course, there is no one living there. It is where a moron would go take and I only used it twice. The only reason I used it twice is because one of the 2 times I did use it, I found out you can see me from a certain angle, and I got out of there. So, apparently, I was not as good at covering things up as I had hoped.
Mm-hmm.
And they wanted to know. They're like, have you noticed anything? And I got sat down and I got questioned.
But they didn't think it was you.
No, I found out very quickly that they had no camera angle. They had no camera angle as to that section. I, by chance, picked the perfect spot and found a dead spot.
You didn't intentionally look for...
I didn't know that. I knew that I could be on camera. I knew that
What was your thinking then? I might be on camera here. Who knows?
I knew that, I couldn't see a camera, so I assumed I'm not on camera.
Gotcha.
All right? So, which is sometimes a good rule, but no, not really.
Yeah.
So, I'm sat down. I'm questioned by the loss prevention manager. Have you noticed anybody who's, had any odd behavior? Have you noticed anybody living in the warehouse? Has anybody been changing in the bathrooms or anything like that? Have you heard any odd sounds? It's like, no, of course not. No. And I just fucking deny it. I'm so fucking I'm so nervous. I'm like, this is crazy. My shift goes on. I go about my business, and really the rest of the day goes by, and I don't hear much else about it.
I'm guessing someone rats you out, right?
No. Listen. And they leave the bet.
Really?
Because they want to find who's doing this.
Jeez.
All right, I'm so sorry. I can't believe I forgot this fact. They leave the bed because they want to know. They actually purposely waited to question me until after the delivery drivers had left for their morning, because they didn't want them because they were certain they knew what was going on. So they leave the bed there because they're going to catch him, as if like leaving a piece of cheese out for a rat. And the rest of the day goes on. I really don't hear much. The next day comes, and it is the only thing being spoken about is the fact that someone has been living in the warehouse.
Is this like a thing that happens a lot? That this is what they would jump to?
Very,
someone must be living here.
Very briefly, the reason why this was so hot button is because within 6 months of this taking place, a member of the custodial staff for the warehouse was sneaking his girlfriend, who also worked there, into the basement warehouse bathroom and having sex with her.
Oh, okay.
All right, and they got busted because someone heard them doing it. So people were just on high alert for mischievous behavior in the warehouse, basically. That I think that had something to do with it. So it's the only thing being spoken about. Who do you think's living down there? Nikolai, you know the drivers. Who do you think it is? And then, of course, the people I work with directly know exactly what's going on. And they're like, are you going to tell them what's going on? And I speak to my manager. Because at this point, I had a really good relationship with him. And he comes up to me and he's like, listen, honestly, like, this isn't loss prevention. This is just you and I talking right now. Do you know anything about what's going on down there? Because they think it's a driver. I think it's one of our guys. And I think it's so-and-so. And he says a name. And it's not, it's that I don't remember whose name he said, but he didn't say me. And I was just like, well, I don't think it's that person. I honestly don't know where this came from. I don't know anything. I just keep denying.
Smart. Good.
Keep denying. And the rest of the day goes by, and that's it. Third day comes up. My boss's boss starts asking me a couple of questions. And he starts saying that this is going to become something. Someone is going to lose their job because they want to send a message that whatever is going on down there needs to stop.
Right.
Okay? This is really brass tack shit. About 20 minutes later, I knock on the door to talk to my manager. His name is Joe. Hey, Joe.
Oh, broken. He broke down.
I told him every goddamn...
You would have been fine.
Was so impressed by me as a he and I really had a good relationship that he did not believe me while I was telling him. He even several times gave me the out of, no, you wouldn't do something like this because it's really dumb.
He was suggesting to you, don't tell me this.
He was telling me.
Don't tell me.
And they took such pity on me. And he also didn't believe me just because he was like, no way would you actually spend time on this. And
it's so dumb.
He was like, listen, I'm going to fight for you. This is going to be fine. And he was right. He did. I didn't even get written up for it.
Oh, I thought you were going to get fired.
Didn't even get in trouble for it. In fact, I ended up getting promoted a couple months later.
Really?
Which ended up getting me fired, but that was totally different.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The really true embarrassing part.
Uh-huh.
The thing that really, hurt. I had to get rid of the bed. They wanted me to throw it away. That afternoon, I'm on the loading dock. I've forklifted my makeshift bed, and I've driven it over to the dumpster, and I almost hit the loss prevention manager and the assistant store manager because they're both standing there, and they both just happened to they were looking at something out on the loading dock. I had never seen them there before or since. And they watched me discard the bed. Basically making it, telling me to my face, you are lucky you have a job. If you weren't a hard worker, you'd be fucking gone, you moron. They didn't say word one. It's just me and it was so much heavier than it was. And I like just feel so fucking embarrassed, and like my face is literally red, like with embarrassment and rage because they're watching. And then, oh god,
what a stupid thing for that to become like such a thing there for nothing. Like it was nothing,
nothing at all.
It was from a Great Dane Cook movie.
It was a Great Dane Cook movie.
Just
like
a phenomenal movie.
Just really all around well done.
I really was genuinely like so embarrassed.
That's terrible.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. That made me feel a little bit better too.
Yeah,
I think commiserating is nice here.
Yeah,
yours was far more embarrassing.
Yeah, by far.
People got hurt.
Yeah.
See, only people.
Family see him every. No one's brought it up since. That adds another layer to it.
Right, another really depressing layer.
All right, that's always a thing.
But what about you?
So, mine was pretty bad. I was thinking. So this happened when I was, I've already told stories about my elementary school, career, and so this happened right as I was about to leave.
Your career.
Yeah. Well, what else would you call it?
I mean,
tenure.
They put tenure.
Tenure.
They put you in the Hall of Fame.
His season.
Yes. So I went to this small progressive elementary school that was like 5 towns over, and so there was like 12 people to a class.
The more towns over a school is, the better the school is. Mm-hmm. Everyone knows that.
It was like a 40-minute bus ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not that long.
If it was 8 towns over, you'd be a fucking genius.
Yeah, I should be. 5 towns should have been enough.
Yeah.
But it didn't take. So.
There were only more towns, Mom.
5 towns? You thought that'd be enough? Yeah. So it's towards the end of this elementary school. We're about to graduate. We won't see each other again for the most part. Because. We all live so far away and everything. And so I really liked this girl. Like, we had been friends, like best friends for like 2 years. And we had like a group of friends. Well, it was like 3 of us. It was like me, my buddy, and this girl, and we were all friends. And
was there ever a love triangle type situation?
No, I'm pretty sure the dude was gay.
Okay.
Like, I don't know for sure.
Sandwich, right?
No.
This is progressive school, right?
Progressive school.
Yeah, you were all probably a little gay.
I mean, it was prereq to be in there.
Yeah.
But the dude, like, I remember he dressed up as a chick for Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
And that seemed pretty gay to me even when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Do you remember which chick?
Like, a blonde chick with a white dress. I don't know if it was
Marilyn Monroe?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It's pretty gay, though, right?
Yeah. If you dress up as Marilyn Monroe for Halloween and you're in elementary school, you're gay.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So,
Come over here,
get
like,
that explains a lot about Seich.
He had long nails, like, all the time.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it was
It's just
like,
unhygienic.
It was like manicured nails that were long. Whatever. It was weird. So no love triangle. But we were all really close friends, but I was totally in love with this girl. She was really hot, really smart, and everything. And, man, even to this day, I want to fuck her. Just the fantasy running through my head still.
No, all right.
Oh, just her naked.
How old are we again?
It's like 11 or so.
Okay.
I guess.
Yep. You were thinking about sex with
now. Then not so much. Now I really wish I could fuck her. I'm kidding. No, but she was really hot for me then. And, I was a pussy though. And I was never going to tell her.
Mm-hmm.
And,
God, that always feels so heavy.
Yeah.
When you're a little kid and you realize, or like when you're younger and you realize that you like someone.
Uh-huh.
And that'll never happen.
Yeah. And, honestly at the time I thought I had a chance, but, and it was coming to the end, so I knew I had to tell her. End
of the school year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I had to tell her.
I thought she had cancer.
No. No, I wouldn't like some cancer bitch. No. No, so I knew I had to tell her. Now, I was too much of a pussy, so I was never going to tell her. But my friend, being a close friend, wanted to step in, help me out. So he tells her, through like instant messenger or something. So the next day I come in, and he tells me that he told her, right?
This bastard.
Yeah, right? So I'm fucking...
How much did you hate him?
Oh, I hate him to this day. I hate that motherfucker.
Because of this?
Because of this, yeah. So like, the first, like, you know, there was no part of me, like, that was saying, well, maybe this will work out, and this will be a good thing, and she'll be into it, or whatever. I was just, like, immediately, like, in shutdown mode, and I was like, fuck, you know, she hadn't gotten to school yet, so I, like, went and hid in the bathroom, because I couldn't face her, and, I ended up staying in that bathroom all day, from morning to afternoon. Now, she comes to the bathroom.
What are we talking about bathroom here?
Little tiny bathroom in the hall, one person bathroom.
A singular person bathroom.
Singular.
You're taking up the whole bathroom.
Yeah,
Nobody else
could use it. Yeah, it was one to the floor, and I was in it all day.
Nobody knocked on the door?
Oh, people knocked. I just didn't respond. She comes to the door, you know, after I'd been there for hours, and this is the first contact I've had with her.
Mm-hmm.
And she says through the door, you know, I'm really flattered. That's always a good start, right?
Oh.
To be honest, though, if she had had any other reaction but no to a person who's sitting in a bathroom because they're too afraid to face her, you know, I would have questioned her a little bit.
Yeah.
As well you should.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But so she said, I'm really flattered. I just don't feel that way about you. Blah, blah, blah. You know, and that was crushing, but I just didn't respond, right? As if they'll forget I'm in the bathroom, or they won't know I'm in the bathroom if I don't say anything. So I remain there the rest of the day, only coming out when I know, like, it's time to leave, which I kind of had to guess at, because, you know, there's no bell or anything. It's one class.
Right.
So that...
Did the teacher come to the door and, like...
Yeah, at one point, I believe.
Just one?
I think so. You know, it was like foggy memory.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think so.
Oh, my God.
And I think what happened was, because it was, like, literally the last day,
mm-hmm.
they just kind of let me stay.
They just said, fuck it?
Yeah. So, that was bad enough, and that was horrible. What really sucked was that the next day, we went to... this, like, end of, like, graduation school trip where everyone went, and
oh, that's right, so it's the end of the year. So
yeah.
Where did you guys get? Was it like a picnic or something?
Yeah, it was like a picnic
so you
at
went
a
to
park.
A local park. Okay, yeah.
Now, we had already had plans for my parents to drive her with me, which went through. Like that, we did it.
So you picked her up.
We picked her up
after spending a day in the bathroom, not making eye contact,
not making any contact of any kind, not talking in any way, pretending I wasn't in the bathroom when I clearly was.
Now you are sitting
next to her in the car,
inches away from,
and then
the love of your life. At this point.
That had just completely rejected me, and I had.
She was flattered though.
Yeah, that was the one saving grace. I was like, wow, at least I flattered this girl. I mean, anytime a girl says that, you know you're doing something right.
Yeah.
Ooh. You like that, baby? Are you flattered?
Yeah, so we spent the day together and...
Talking?
Yeah. Somewhat, you know,
How's
pretending it never happened. Car ride is horrible. I don't want to tell my parents what had happened. You know, so I have to kind of...
you can't tell them?
No. I mean, I would look like such a little faggot, and I couldn't allow that to happen.
We're dropping the F word a lot in this podcast. Not very PC.
It's not very PC, but I think it's appropriate because we're talking about ourselves as children.
It's a vernacular we grew up using. We're part of that generation. So. It's just a generational time thing, man.
In my defense, I was a little faggot. Yeah. I mean, that...
We're saying it...
Most boys under the age of 10 are gay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're saying it with a negative connotation towards ourselves.
Yes.
Not towards homosexuals.
Not towards homosexuals.
But it is still offensive to say it.
That's true. We should, yeah.
No. Don't apologize. I just wanted to call you guys dicks.
Oh, yeah. Well, we are.
This other gay dude, my really close friend, was much less of a faggot as I was. Okay. Not even close.
Yeah.
You know, he had some
You don't have to be gay to be a faggot. No. That's what you're not getting here.
This guy really wasn't, and I clearly was.
Right.
So yeah, so I spent the whole day together, and I had to pretend nothing was going on in front of my parents, and so I just acted like nothing had happened, and then we finally got to the end of the day, and I said goodbye in a really pathetic way, I imagine, and that was the last time I saw her.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's rough.
what is the worst point? Is it when she knocks on the door near the bathroom? Is it the car ride? Is it saying goodbye?
When she knocked on the door, that was horrible. The car ride was incredibly, embarrassing. But I think it was spending hours in the bathroom, and I remember I got so bored, and I just was so desperate to come out, and just be like,
no cell phones,
right?
Anything back in that day.
I'm just sitting there, and so I'm like, I just want to go back out and pretend like this didn't happen, but I'd been there too long for that to be an option.
Yeah, you're riding it out at this point.
Once it got past 2 hours, that was it. I can't come out.
Yeah.
So I think that was probably the worst part, just sitting in that bathroom. And that's my last memory of this school that I was my whole childhood at. It shaped my whole youth. Yeah.
That is awful.
And that was my first, experience with women. So
I mean,
explains a lot.
All uphill since then.
Yeah.
Downhill, right? Which is easier?
Well, I would say downhill.
Which one's not existent? God, that reminds me of an embarrassing story that I have not thought about. That jogged a memory loose for me. And it's a pretty quick one.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in 6th grade. I am in Mr. Radke's first period class, and my last name is DeLeo, and I always sat alphabetical order, and I happened to be sitting next to a Katie D. From our high school.
Katie could get that D.
You know who I'm talking about, right?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sitting next to our girl Katie, behind rather, and I've fallen in love with this girl throughout the course of the year. We would talk to each other.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, we would talk to each other every day. We had a couple of classes together. I think at one point we were partners during square dancing, so I knew she loved me, even though she was dating a douchebag named Tom. All right, so her and Tom break up, and I want to let her know.
That's your chance, yeah.
I need to let her know. I write her a note. I should have known that the note was not a good idea, because at a certain point in the note, I go off on a tangent about how I am not Tom, nor am I one of Tom's friends. And I kind of harped on that a little bit for a little while. I don't know why.
What was the meaning? I'm not Tom, not one of those stupid jocks who are...
No, it was, I am not actually Tom. I'm not telling you. I wrote the note anonymously, but I wanted to let her know specifically that I am not...
I am not Tom.
So you're hoping she'll read this. Who is this mystery man? I must know.
Yes, because I have purposely used block lettering.
Which is your thing, maybe, or
no,
block lettering. So you hide your handwriting.
Yes, okay. It's all capitals.
Gotcha.
To hide my handwriting.
I thought you'd be like a sleuth and where did the handwriting?
Listen, I was raised Catholic, and I've got no constitution. I slipped the note to her. I remember I was actually pretty stealthy about it. I dropped a pen or something, was tying a shoe, whatever it was, slipped it into the top of one of her binders. She gets it. I knew it was one that she was going to use soon. So I actually get to see the moment where she reads it. And boy, that wasn't great. Because it wasn't the reaction I wanted. She knew it was, she didn't know it was me.
Okay.
She genuinely didn't know it was me.
Okay.
All right. Let me just make that clear, and I have to backtrack just for a second here. One red flag, I had asked my mom to read the note.
Smart.
And she was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And absolutely I am. And God, do I wish I had listened.
It's good for your mom not to tell you how.
Right?
Stupid.
Gotta make that mistake.
Yeah.
It's the only way you learn.
You gotta let them live it.
Yeah.
You gotta let them live their
that's fine.
lives. So, I give her the note. apparently she was enthralled with the idea of having a secret admirer. So by second period, everybody knows. Everybody's talking about it.
Okay. This is getting worse and worse for you.
Oh, man. And then by lunch, I'm pretty sure that a few people had figured it out.
Really?
Because, I mean, we had a few classes together and we would talk frequently. And again, we would sit next to each other all the time as well. Because
did you tell anyone that you liked her?
I had told my one of my best friends at the time.
Okay.
He was, and again, me bringing up the fact that I'm a Catholic raised Catholic with weak constitution is because not only did I tell one of my best friends at the time, I then started telling other people that I had done something and I didn't know if I should own up to it or not. And all right, so fast forward, we're in last period history, and during the class we were getting Jolly Ranchers if you got the questions right. Mm-hmm. Always enjoyed history, nailed a couple of answers, saved myself a lemon, walked up to her. Listen, I don't know how you feel about the letter or not, but I'm the one who wrote it. And I hope you like lemon. And I put the Jolly Rancher down, and I turned around, and I did not fucking look backwards. Mm-hmm. I just shit bricks.
Give you credit for saying it.
Oh,
take some balls.
Man. I remember to this day. Yeah. She was not interested at all. Not in the slightest.
How was the rejection talk?
Oh, it was...
Was she gentle?
Yes.
Okay.
Extremely.
Good.
Extremely gentle. Yeah. We were no longer friends, though. And her seat changed pretty quickly.
Must have been nice the next day when you saw that.
Yeah. I was pretty sad about that for a while. Yeah. Actually, so much so that I remember way fast forward. This took place in 6th grade. So you're what? We're 11 years old. We are now... I'm in 16, 17, working at the school store in high school. And she and I really didn't have a lot of classes together in high school. So she'd come into the school store and just decided to bring up the fact to me, like, hey, do you remember that note that you wrote me? She actually fucking brought it up. I was like... Yeah.
Do I remember?
And she's like, I still have it.
She still had it?
Yep.
Whoa.
She said she
probably shows it to our other boyfriends.
But then she said, I have it with a whole bunch of other stuff that I've got from like exes and cute little things like that.
Okay.
And I felt embarrassed all over again.
At least you were in the class of exes.
Oh. No, I mean, I guess.
She keeps, like, giving you false hope and then slowly drawing it back.
Yeah, by giving me false hope, she tried to have a friendship when she was 11 and I ruined it.
No, I mean, in that conversation. She was like, I still have it. Along with a group of other things.
Yeah, right.
And trinkets and knickknacks that mean nothing to me. Hey, I'll give you a blowjob. Seriously, I could get the wrinkles out of those clothes. Like, just nonsense.
Oh my god. Yeah. So I remember that being just a painful day. Just fucking. And then not everyone, but quite a few people knew. Mm-hmm. I remember catching shit for. But she was one of the prettiest girls in our class. Mm-hmm. So anybody who gave me shit for it, I would just be like, oh, okay. So you don't think she's cute? You wouldn't? So if she wanted to kiss you, you wouldn't kiss her? No, I mean, I'm not saying that. So,
what was your social status at this point? Were you in that
class? Oh, I was a loser.
Okay.
This was still right before I started hanging out with the tough boys.
Okay.
And like I was actually, this is like, right around the time that I started hanging out with them.
I wonder if that would have made a difference.
I started hanging out with them so close in that time period that they made fun of me for it.
Okay.
But I would also say to them, like...
Hey, look, it took a ton of balls going up and asking me out like that. Man. In class.
I mean, class was over.
Yeah, but...
Like, everybody had walked out, and I was like...
Okay, so it's just you and her.
I was like, can I talk to you for a second?
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. It was... I remember it. Can I talk to you for a second? Yeah, what's going on?
I wonder if she knew and her heart dropped.
She knew. She knew. Look, I wrote the note. Oh my god!
Imagine if she was just
pitiful.
like, "Oh no way!"
No way.
Yeah, what a shock.
Yeah, so that was
great.
That was some pretty embarrassing.
That was
moments.
cathartic.
Yeah.
I feel lighter.
I feel awful.
Yeah.
And
You're living
hungry.
I am hungry. Well, it was a hoot.
Please hit us up on the comment section. Tell us some of your embarrassing moments.
Yeah, seriously. I'd love to hear some terrible things that happened to you.
Yeah, like somebody shit their pants in 3rd grade.
Yeah, or
Somebody then had to walk out of the classroom with a squishy ass, you know, because, just any embarrassing story like that. Or like,
all that stuff.
Wearing a tank top and being forced to leave to change.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Exactly. It's just something super...
It was a sleeveless shirt, and it was perfectly acceptable. Miss Maynard was a bitch.
She was a bitch.
Just really embarrassing fun stories, like jogging down the street, waving to your friends, getting your teeth knocked out because you're too clumsy for your own feetsies.
I see a pattern.
What do you mean?
I see a
We're
pattern.
just randomly bringing up random...
There's just random examples, like embarrassing, like wearing a crazy lime shirt. Or being named Matt.
I'm out. Fuck our president.